we want to graph the function g of x equals to negative square root of x plus 2. This is a transformation of the function f of x equals to square root of x. Remember, always we start with the simplest function that is included in our function that we want to graph. So the first thing that we want to do is actually to graph this function here. In order to do that, we have to find few points. When the x is 1, the y is 1. When the x is 4, the y is 2, since square root of 4 is 2. When the x, I'm taking only perfect squares here. When the x is 9, the square root of 9 is 3. When the x is 16, the square root of x is 4. So we have enough points. We have 4 points to graph this curve. The 1, 1, the 4, 2, the 9, 3, and the 16, 4. So our curve, the square root of x, is going to be this curve right here. Now, this function does two transformations on the square root of x. It adds 2 as a constant. This means that it shifts the curve up by 2 units, and it also rotates the curve around the x-axis. So the new function that we will create will be, first of all, we add 2, and we will add 2 to each one of the points that we consider for the f of x here. So the new function that we have is this. Is this the final function, f of g of x? No, this is the function square root of x plus 2. Now the next thing that we want to do is to add this negative sign into our function. How do we do that? Well, this rotates the function, the blue function, horizontally. So this means that these points will stay in place and this will move to lower. But how much lower? To make sure that we won't make any mistakes for this problem, and we are going to have the final graph correctly, we need also to find some values for the new function. So, looking at the g of x, square root of x plus 2, when the x is 1, the y is going to be 2 minus 1, 1. When the x is 4, the y is going to be minus 2 plus 2, 0. And when the x is 9, the y is going to be, and this is your y, the y coordinate, is going to be negative 3 plus 2, negative 1. Let's name this h of x. So when the x is 16, right here, the h of 16 is going to be negative 4 plus 2, negative 2. So we have already 4 points here to graph. The one is this, 1, 1, right here, 4, 0, 9, negative 1, and 16, negative 2. So the curve that we will have is this. As we can see, the red curve is the black curve after we perform two transformations on it. The first is we have taken the black curve and we made it blue. We made it into the h of x by just shifting it up by 2 units because of the plus right here. And then we rotate the h of x around horizontally, and we created the red curve that is nothing else than the g of x. So the red curve is now the g of x.